say a splendid good morning to one and all. Those of you listening to Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9 on the FM dial. Those of you viewing us via GBN TV, whether it's Channel 7, Channel 11, Channel 20, good morning to you also. Welcome today's edition of To The Point. It's Thursday, the 18th day of July. Welcome also to those of you who are viewing and listening via our social media platforms, whether it's a Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning and welcome. With us this morning, we have the Digital Forensic Unit of the RGPF with us this morning, and with representing, we have Detective Constable, that's Garfield, Charles with us this morning. Let's say good morning to you, Detective. How are you this morning? Good morning, welcome.
Hi, good morning, sir, and thank you for having me on the program.
Certainly welcome. Nice to have you with us this morning. And our conversation this morning would lead on, electronic crimes. We hear about electronics crimes. We hear the conversation all the time. Electronic crimes. In your simple explanation for our listeners and viewers this morning, what is electronic crimes? If we are to know and understand it in a particular way, electronic crimes.
All right. So to try and put it in layman terms as much as possible, it's any crime involving the use of technology or digital equipment such as phone, a tablet, a laptop, desktop computer, and so on and so forth. So the list goes on and on. So anything that involves...
Anything of electronic nature is referred to electronic crimes.
Right.
So then we may ask the question again. Tell us a bit of the types of electronic crimes that we probably could know of.
Right.
If we talk in that way.
There is a long list of electronic crimes ranging from one, violation of privacy. You have child pornography. That's two, unauthorized access and interference. You have identity theft, so on. You have electronic forgery, electronic fraud. You also have misuse of encryption, electronic terrorism. You have prank calls to law enforcement. You have spoof and spam. Also have unauthorized access to code and sensitive electronic systems. So this is a list of crimes that falls under the Electronic Crimes Act.
Okay.
Right, and that act falls under Electronic Crimes Act number 23 of 2013. So that's when the act was enforced.
What does the act actually say? What does the act actually says?
All right, so what the act gives as a definition here, it says that it's any criminal activity involving the use of computers as the illegal transfer of funds from one account to another, or the stealing, changing, or erasing of data in an electronic data bank.
All right.
Because what happens is that these devices store information. So that becomes the electronic data bank. Hence the name for it.
Understandably so.
Right.
Now, in a small country as Grenada, if I may ask, what are the most prevalent, electronic crimes that we know on a small island as Grenada, if there's any at all?
Well, right. There's a lot. Whilst it may not be readily known to the public.
Yes.
But on a daily basis, from where I sit, I can tell you that we experience a lot, such as one of the main ones is violation of privacy.
Violation of privacy.
We have a lot of this.
And that's where people getting access to people's personal property and so forth.
Private personal data.
Yes.
Be it consensual or non-consensual, right? So we have a lot of this violation of privacy. We have child pornography also as one that is thereabout. But the main one that we've seen so far is violation of privacy. All right.
We'll be talking. Let's talk a wee bit of the concerns from the RGPF as it relates to electronic crime. How concerned is the RGPF as relates to that, the Digital Forensic Unit? It relates to electronic. The concerns that worries the department a whole lot.
Definitely, as it relates to the one that I will say that really worries the RGPF is the surrounding, the whole child pornography. So this one, because what we tend to see is that with the advent of technology being so prevalent in society today, that you have young, let's say, minors are having access to phones, tablets, and primarily these two devices, not so much the laptops and the desktops, but the phones, the smartphones, and the tablets.
Yeah.
And what you tend to see is that they find themselves in a lot of uncompromising positions where they are allowed by criminal entities to send photographs of themselves, and via the social media platforms, you see a lot of exchange of what they go say. Well, to put it in a better, I don't want to put it out too raw, but you see a lot of well, look at this.
They say they're private parts.
Yeah, private parts, nude photos, and this sort of material going out over the social media platforms, especially like the WhatsApp, the Facebook, the Instagrams, and so on and so forth.
All right. If you were to throw an advice this morning, especially when it deals to parents, the guardians out there, the public in general, on advice on electronic, what are some of the advice would you like to throw to them this morning?
The advice I would like to put out there to parents is that you have to be responsible. You have to monitor what your kids do on the internet, on the smartphones, on the tablets. Many a times you might hear parents make the statement that, I was not exposed to technology, and know it's something new on the market. Let them just put a phone in their hand, put a tablet in their hand.
I mean, not to cut you, but sometimes we understand the reason why parents may give children a phone and stuff these days. Some parents are working. You understand? Maybe a working parent could be a single parent, and they may want their son or daughter to get in contact with them. But the misuse of it now, that's where the problem occurs now.
Right, and you're right that sometimes the purpose for which you give them the device is genuine.
Yes.
No, you're not there in person to monitor what they do on that device. So in your absence, what do you think happens? They would join up with other kids, say at school or friends in the neighborhood or so, or even elder siblings or so on. What they see they're doing online, they would want to follow suit.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem comes. Now, it's nothing wrong in say, okay, giving your child a phone to contact you in case of an emergency or so. But does it really have to be a smartphone?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have to be a smartphone. There are the regulars, you might want to call them in the old days, blue soap.
Yeah.
Where all you could have played was just snake.
I'm not sure that's available anymore.
Yeah, they're still available. But most of them now they're integrating, and that's how serious it has become, because they are integrating the WhatsApp and all these things, and even on these small, what they call feature phones. So even if you still cannot get away from it. But no, what you have to do is, yes, you can speak to the child, but that doesn't mean they would follow what you say. So the whole thing is all come back that the parents have to be constantly monitoring what your kid does on these devices. Be that if every day you have to take it from them and go through it to see the history, who they've been speaking to, and so on. That is one of the measures that the parent can take.
Yeah, sure. What about activation of the parental control? Part of the phone where they can activate that. Once again, it goes to the knowledgeability of the parent.
Well, all that. Excellent point. Excellent point. That sad to say that maybe not all parents are all that technically savvy to go into the device and activate these features, as I say, the parental control and so. Or it's simply as saying, you know what, I'm just only going to put credit on the phone, no data.
Yeah.
So you can maybe say get a SIM card and say I just want for calls and I don't want it for data.
Yes.
So all you can do is just pick up that phone and make a call. There's no access to data because you need that to go online.
Yes.
So that's another measure that they can implement to avoid the kids going and accessing unwanted material such as porn sites, or as I say, sharing nude images of themselves in compromising positions and so out there on the internet. Because once something gets on the internet, it's gone.
And sometimes it's very difficult to remove.
To remove. Yes. Well, as I say, there a program that is currently being effected called the NCME, I believe, the abbreviation, I think it's it's not coming to mind right now, but it's a platform that has been established. There's one called Take It Down. Yeah. Right? And
that I have heard of.
Right. So the Take It Down platform is where you can go, and if there is explicit content out there,
you can go and request
request that it be removed. Yes. Right? And that is under NCMC. Right. So this organization is spearheading that project.
But then sometimes you're still not certain of the removal, because people have the way of saving these things on their device. So it may be removed from the internet, but then there are other folks that have the save on device for their own personal mischief. You understand?
Right. Right. And that's where the whole thing of the act comes into play concerning violation of privacy.
All right.
So if anybody is found with that material, let's say after the fact, then that's where they can be charged for the offense.
Okay. We drew for a break. Let's take it. When we come back, I want us to talk about the act a little bit more for the ignorance of individual out here who may not understand the act and what it entails. You did give a description, but sometimes you want to know what are the charges that an individual can occur and so forth with those violations of the act and so forth.
Right.
When we come back. Stay with us. Hey folks, it's To The Point here, Classic Radio GBN TV. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Don't touch it out.
Grenada is on a track to become a Caribbean trendsetter for waste management and recycling. We are establishing a recycling culture to rid our landfill, our country, of plastic waste. Under the OECS Recycle Pilot Project, residents and the business sector are being encouraged to see the potential in plastic. Every day, plastic bottles can be stored and prepared for collection and recycling. Plastic is not waste. There is investment opportunity in plastic recycling. Sustainable clean water, food safety, beautiful beaches, marine spaces, and a potential arena for investment for OECS entrepreneurs. Let's recycle and explore avenues to convert plastic into profit.
Recycle OECS. Green actions, blue oceans.
Fly the Jones, Switch, it's Lava Man. It's all about spice up the Carnage Soca Mona competition. It starts on the 26th of July. It's going to go on to the 2nd of August, then the 9th for the finals. I will be the host. Fly the Jones, Switch. Get there, see you there, be there. Nothing but vibes. Real mashup, yeah? Mad.
Coming up, African emancipation celebrations build towards the big day. Crop Over rolls towards its own colorful conclusion. One of this region's top banks continues to demonstrate the power to make a difference. Welcome to another award-winning Home Away from Home. Caribbean athletes ready for the world. Souvenirs stitched from scratch. It's all next on this station.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point here, Classic Radio GBN TV. With me this morning, we have, of course, Detective Constable Garfield Charles with us this morning, and he's representing the, of course, forensic unit of the RGPF, and we're talking electronic crimes this morning here on To The Point. As the process goes along this morning, folks, feel free to always give us a call, 435-2041. You may have a question or two as the conversation continues. If that you may like to ask, feel free to do so. Of course, Detective, welcome back. I was asking asking you about, I wanted to speak to you as it relates to, the act itself, as it says, in terms of the violation may have occurred. How does the process go through in terms of before the penalties and stuff? So the process that occurs, is there a warning, or just tell us how the whole process goes after an individual may have violated someone's privacy in that via the electronic crimes?
Okay, so if an incident of violation of privacy has occurred, one would want to first, you have to report that incident to the Criminal Investigation Department, one or any police station within, like, say, your district. So, say you're in Grenville, you could visit each division has a Criminal Investigation Department.
Yes.
So either you report it to the front desk at the station, and more than likely you'll be referred to the investigator at the Criminal Investigation Department. So that's the first step. Once your privacy has been violated. So this is the first step. From there, a statement would be taken, and then that investigation would commence. And this is where now we would come in play.
Yes.
At the Digital Forensic Unit, because our sole purpose is to augment the Criminal Investigation Department in such investigations.
Or knowing what has been happened is actually a crime.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So, and more than likely, once somebody reports if their privacy has been violated, it's automatically a crime. Right. Be it consensual or non-consensual. Because what you have many of times is that, let's say, and this is one of the most prevalent ones, you would have like a relationship gone bad between boyfriend, girlfriend, two consented adults, to put it that way, and revenge. One says, you know what, I'm going to put your material, out there, so as a matter to like bring out shame or something, blackmail the person. So this is majority of the times what takes place. It's sort of like revenge. So, and most of the time, revenge porn is the name that goes along with that. Now, once that report comes to us, this is where we start our investigation. Be it if it's getting a warrant, or if the device, let's say, the perpetrator, most of the times you would have to get a warrant from the magistrate to search that device. And
I guess it will be confiscated first from the individual.
So then it would be confiscated from the individual, right? And then a warrant would have to be applied for, especially if the person is not cooperating with law enforcement. So that's where you get a warrant, and then the investigation proceeds from there. Now, from there, the matter will go to court, unless other circumstances prevents it from going to court. Right, as maybe one party saying they no longer want action
or follow through on it.
So the offense going to court now, it's a summary offense which the perpetrator can get bail for. And let's say on conviction, let's say the perpetrator has been found guilty. What we have here is that the fine, the maximum that it can be fined if being found guilty for the offense is $200,000. That's the maximum. The judge may or may not use, I want to say may not, but may use his or her discretion and waiver the fine. But the maximum fine there is $200,000. I've seen persons get charged as much as $50,000. Just for sharing a photo of someone else. Right? So keep in mind, maximum fine $200,000 or imprisonment not exceeding 3 years. So it can be both fined and confined. So it's at the magistrate's discretion.
There are cases where we have heard of individuals sending their gadgets to repair stores and so forth, and their personal information is taken and thrown out on the run on the web, or some way it gets out there into the public domain.
Right.
Tell us how does the Act speak about that also? Is it in the same procedure?
Yes, it will be in the same procedure that if, like say, you bring your phone into repair and you have content on the phone that you know you did not disclose to anyone else.
Yes.
But for some reason, after bringing your phone to that particular repair shop, you now see that content out there, then you have solid grounds to say, not I never shared that information, and now is that I brought my device here, I'm seeing it online, then it constitutes an offense, and that technician or technicians will have to answer to that same charge of violation of privacy.
All right. It's a concern I've always had. From time to time, incidents occur, and in today's world, everybody always have a phone out recording.
Right.
Everybody else, there's an incident occurring, everybody has a phone out. The concern of that is it really fall on the Electronic Crime Act? For some reason, someone is where maybe the circumstances is compromising in a way, and people always out there with a phone recording, and it gets out to the public domain. Is that also prevail under the Act?
Yes, it is. Now, while you would want to say that, okay, they're in the public and
well, not knowingly that the individual has been recording. You're not knowing that you've been recorded.
Yeah,
per se.
Yeah, it will be violation. It will still be violation of privacy.
All right.
Because you unknowingly, without the person's consent, without the person's consent, photograph or record them and put it out there. It's one if they just photograph it and record it, and
probably never goes out.
And it never goes out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's still infringing on the person's privacy.
I ask it because sometimes I see sometimes, we into the carnival season and so forth, and people are, having a good time, may undress themselves in public for some reason or the other, and then you see they've been recorded, and then you see someone post it on their Facebook page or something. Maybe the individual may not make a big scene about themselves, because they may say that maybe they're intoxicated or whatever at the time, so they weren't paying that due attention, and then you see, but then it still could, if that individual decides I don't like what I saw, the position that I saw myself in, you understand, could that also be as a crime against that person, or violating that person's rights?
I would say the position depending on what was going on at the time. Maybe if the person got drunk and they were lying at the side of the road or something of that nature, that's one.
Yeah.
Let's say if the person was engaged in a particular activity, then again, it can be technical.
There's some technicalities
involved in it.
All right.
But at the same time, it would be on, that's where you'd have to get the prosecution department involved.
Yes.
And they would have to say whether an offense has been constituted here or not, given all the points that surrounding that particular incident. Okay. So they would say whether, a charge can be brought forward or not.
All right. So I just asked it because someone may be worried about that, and under the circumstances, no. Folks, they having their revelry time and so forth, and probably being recorded, and then they see themselves out in the public domain. Yes, they was in public doing whatever they're doing, but not thinking that they're going to be recorded and shared around the world. So they feel offended now for some reason or the other. Decides they're going to come to the department and make a complaint, as we refer to it, and maybe they found out, they may not know who recorded it intentionally, but John may have had it on his page. Does John or Peter have it on his page? Does Peter and John bear the consequences for that in any way at all?
Yes, it does. They say that they uphold that it was than the thief. So no, in that case, my advice is that I would advise anyone, like they say the upcoming carnival season, that avoid getting yourself in any compromising position or where such things can happen, where you can find yourself outside there on the World Wide Web and everybody is looking at you and you're more or less now saying, if I had known, I would not have done that. To avoid the whole shame that comes with it or the disgrace that comes with it. So avoid as much as possible putting yourself in any compromising position. Now, so the persons that have intention of just taking out their phone and recording someone without their consent, I would avoid doing so.
Yes.
Because you might think that you're doing it for, the fun of it, not knowing that behind it, the consequences, as I say, you can be charged up to $200,000 or be in prison for up to 3 years. So as much as at the point in time you might say, hey, look, this is a nice scene, let me photograph or record this scene, and then now you later on to find out that, what you did land you in deep trouble. So as much as possible, if you see somebody in a compromising position,
probably advise them.
Just advise them, hey, this is not looking good, it's not appropriate. Cease from doing it. Rather than take out your device and record, then send it to John, to Peter, to James, and then at the end of the day, now all three of you are implicated in a charge of violation of privacy.
All right, great. Understandably so. Let's continue on the conversation in terms now. Electronic crimes, as we focus in a whole lot. We know, as we talk in the festive season and so we into right now, how is it important for individuals to secure, especially when especially, their devices, phones, if they have to go to an event, their tablets, because now people can use various electronic means of accessing their personal space for some reason or the other. The advice you want to throw to individuals, especially adults. Some we going out, we walking with before, and folks decide they walk around but have a tablet. Folks walk around their bag with they have a bag with places with computer, their laptop computers and so forth. Advice to folks to eliminate themselves from having that problem. Or you understand?
Right. So now in situations such as these, what you tend to see is that, well, first of all, let me put it that way. Your tablet or your smartphone is what you would call your personal. That's your personal space. That's like your personal diary. It's like how you have your wallet. This is what your device is to you. Because what you have is a lot of persons tend to store virtually everything about themselves in their smartphone.
Yes.
From photos to credit card information to date of birth, and so on and so forth.
Banking information.
The banking information.
Everything is there.
And what you tend to see is most items around the carnival season, persons are walking around with these devices loosely, whether it's in their back pocket or in the front pocket, or just in their hand where somebody could just go and snatch it.
And accessing device is not as difficult as it used to, eh?
It's not as difficult, yes, definitely. And most of the times, what you would find is that once that device is no longer in your possession, you have no idea what would become of it.
Yes.
Most of the times, if you're lucky and you have a secure passcode or password on it, it might be of no use to the individual.
Yes.
But let's say the person grab it and while you had it unlocked, now they can just continue to just go into it and remove all your security. Unless maybe say you had two-factor authentication, that if they try to disable your password, they may need an additional password or a fingerprint or facial recognition in order to do so. But many of the times, even if they are unable to disable the security features, they still have access to the content like your photos and videos and so on. So what would be advisable, I would say, is that when you're out there, to secure your device, it's better you have a second device just for that purpose.
Okay.
Maybe it's just a regular phone just to make and receive calls, and not really, because these smartphones these days are very expensive. And once you lose that, it's like losing, you would say,
for some individuals, that is their life.
your life. So if you intend to go outside, you intend to get to consume alcoholic beverages, which would lead to you getting intoxicated majority of the times. One is either you leave your device at home, or if there's somebody with you that maybe is not consuming alcohol, you can ensure them to hold the device. So these are some of the things you can do. Or, as I say, have another device. As I say, just a regular feature phone just for the purpose.
Another way, form of questioning I want to ask. From time to time, there are various individuals who will send you information, asking for information from you. Let's say there's some promotional activity that you're unaware of, and they're seeking your personal information. But concerns from the criminal investigation department, not probably, I should say, from the forensic unit in terms of that, to individuals out there. People liking to share their personal information with unknown individuals, or probably some company or something that may not deem reputable to you, but for whatever they ask of you, it seems to be interesting. And they're asking for information and so forth. Concerns on that level, or advice you want to show to individuals on that?
Right. Now, that is another great point that you brought out in relation, because around these times you would have a lot of promotions.
Yes.
To say whether those promotions are authentic or not. That is something that we have to be on the onus of the user of the device.
Yes.
Now, let's say you receive an alert on your phone, or a text message or a WhatsApp message telling you, hey, we have this ongoing promotion. Now, the responsibility is for you, the individual, to fact check that information to see whether or not that, if it's factual. Most of the times, let's say one of the let me say Flow might say they have a promotion on, a Digicel or one of these companies may have a promotion on. It's always good to fact check, maybe check another source.
Yes.
See if, or speak with someone that, or go into the
company themselves,
to the company and say, hey,
promotion that is on.
Yeah, do you have this promotion going on? Because what may have to happen, persons can engineer these attacks and make it look as if it's authentic and it's coming from, let's say, Flow or Digicel.
Yes.
And then they have a good data package. So let me grab that, and what you find, you don't even check the link.
Yeah.
So you just click away, and that's it. Your whole phone
and then they become the perpetrator now get access to all the information. Just
all the information is compromised.
I'm hearing of recently there've been one of the online companies that have been thrown out a promotion lately. The Prime Day or whatever they call it, and there's information of that there've been so many other sites that were popping up sharing information, offering deals that was not authentic to the original company.
Right.
You understand?
And that's a classic example.
And that is as recently as a couple of days or two ago. You understand?
Prime Day, I believe, is...
I think it was yesterday.
Yeah,
and there were multiple sites that were just popping up and, offering you deals also that was not authentic to the original site.
Why? Because...
And there were hundreds of people that got caught in that also.
Why? Because they maybe got a lot on their phone.
Yes.
And didn't check to see whether the authenticity of or the source where that information came from. Now, if you have like the Amazon app installed on your smartphone, or you visit the Amazon web store, then you can say with 100% certainty that it's coming from Amazon, because you have that application on your device. So if you click on it and it brings you back to the app on the device, which normally the alert, because for instance, I saw on my phone, I haven't got no alerts other than when I open the app, you see the screen come up saying Prime Day.
Yes.
Right, and take a day. But as I say, getting an alert outside of that, no, I have not. Yeah, right. So and this is how I know Amazon.
It was authentic from Amazon.
Yeah, authentic. They didn't send out no alerts. So what happened is that you have cyber criminals taking advantage of that, engineering an attack surrounding the whole Prime Day, and send it out. And some person say, it's from Amazon today, it's Prime Day. But that's where you say you have to fact check. You have to fact check the source of these this
particular promotion.
These promotions, and see whether it's authentic or not. Because I told you, the only way you can get access to Prime Day is if you go on the web store via your same smart device or your tablet or your laptop or your desktop computer, or the app in your phone. You cannot get access to Prime Day no other how. So Amazon has not sent out, as far as I know, any alerts.
All right. So, I mean, it's just a concern you throw to individual, because everybody's always interested in a good deal for some reason.
Well, yes.
You know, and information of that nature coming to you, want to take advantage of it, and it may seem so authentic at times, but it's not.
That's right. Yeah, so that's where the onus is on you to always fact check that information, especially, and with these links, especially if you get it through an alert. Most of the times it may be a URL attached to it.
Attachment to it.
And if you see that it's saying, this alert is from Amazon, or this promotion is from Amazon, but when you watch the link does not bring you to Amazon. It might say www. Whatever thing, and not www, like https /www.amazon.com. Then you for sure
it's not
from Amazon. And most of them you may not see a link, all you just say click here.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And then you lose access to the device, you lose access to your personal device, because they may even make it so authentic that you continue shopping.
That's
and
what
then you make the necessary payment, and you realize there's nothing coming to you in terms of whatever you plan, whatever goods you decided to order, and you lose your cash, and you lose the information also.
Certainly. So that's why I say it's always good to fact check when these promotions come up, because I have seen in recent times that alerts from USPS.
Yeah.
And I say, well, I don't have no USPS here in Grenada. But it's coming through text message to my phone. But I say, okay, well, even if I put my number out there, like I sign up to a platform, I use my number. But I'm getting USPS alerts here in Grenada, and I didn't order anything.
Yeah, it's concerning, because recently I was receiving a message via WhatsApp as relates to one of my son's schools. They have this WhatsApp group, and someone was requesting money in the group that the school was not even a part of. You understand?
Right.
And so imagine that, So think about crimes, folks do electronic crimes in all different ways. And they were requesting, and said, well, how could the school be requesting monies when there was someone else doing that? Gets everybody's number in the chat group and sending you a message personally,
Right, so that's what we call phishing, right, for social engineering. So these persons get themselves into these groups, and they engineer an attack that will sound like they're good for everybody. As I say, why would the school? And that's the thought, the trend of thought.
Yes.
Well, this is a school group.
Yeah. Why would they be asking for money?
Why would they be asking for money via something that is meant maybe for schoolwork or to send out information pertaining to the school. And that's where they say the fact checking comes in.
What really alerted me was the fact that it was not a local number.
Well, great.
It was not a local number, and I said, well, why would your school be asking? And the information sounded very genuine in terms of all information around the school's name and everything, but just that the number that it came from was not a local number. So that drew the alert to me that it was not something was not right there.
And that's an excellent initiative on your part that you did some investigation and you fact check.
Yeah.
Okay, this doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Let me see what's really going on here. And for all you know, you may have prevented a lot of heartache.
Well, I actually went through and contacted the school and so forth, and the principal alerted me, well, this doesn't belong to them. So she had to now send out messages to everyone saying, if anyone contacts you on their nature, it is not something that is coming from the school, so do not entertain it any further than
right.
this.
And this brings a point to my mind that fighting crime is not solely on the police, but it relies on the public as well.
Yes.
Because, as I say, you did your part. You did your civic duty there.
Yeah.
And you would have covered a whole criminal network there that have been exploiting persons. So it's that fighting crime also, the onus is also on the general public as well to do their part. And as I say, if you fact check, you do some of your own investigation.
Yeah, I mean, it could be easy as you fact checking and making sure that it never occurs.
Yes.
We drew for a break. Let's take it. And when we come back, for our listeners and viewers, if you do have a question or two, feel free to give us a call in the next segment, 435-2041. If you have a question, you could also send it via the WhatsApp, 435-2041. We'll be right back after the break. Stay with us, folks. Don't touch it down. 15 minutes moving up before the top of the hour.
We say, yeah, GBN we say, arts and culture living, yeah. Rock the box we say, I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box we say, I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box we say, we'll be jamming here on a Thursday.
Get ready for the ultimate family fun day at PAL Kids Fest.
On July 20th at 1 p.m. at the Moulin Rouge Playing Field for an unforgettable day packed with excitement. And guess what? Admission is absolutely free.
Immerse yourself in a world of thrilling activities, from mini vehicles to bouncing castles, face painting, and so much more. There's something for everyone to enjoy.
And the fun doesn't stop there. We're giving away incredible prizes, including Amazon Fire Sticks and a flat screen TV. Don't miss your chance to win big. Eats and drinks on sale.
Don't miss out on the biggest event of summer. Bring the whole family and make unforgettable memories at PAL Kids Fest. See you there.
This ad is sponsored by Terry's Yacht Services, Modern Photo Studio, Maitland's Trucking Services, GBN, and 92.5 FM.
Where are you come out? Where are you from? How was leave free promotion? It is on budget. Somebody send out the warning.
Spend $50 or more at any Hubbard's department or participating outlets for a chance to win free fuel, free drinks, free prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free hub TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free Dutch Lady milk, free passes to Sunshine promotion events for 2024, free groceries, all for 1 whole year. And every winner receives a free lunch package. But that's not all. Drive away in style in a brand new Isuzu D-Max. It sips, it doesn't guzzle. So fill out your entries and place them into the marked entry boxes. This promotion is brought to you in part by Dutch Lady, Danny, Promo, Supreme Bleach, Creative Chef, Glen, Floor, Salt Petroleum, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Coca-Cola, Sunshine Promotion, Caribouries, Coop Bag, Sesame Spain, and Food Fear. Promotion runs from April 2nd to December 24. Terms and conditions apply.
Listeners, welcome back, viewers. It's to the point here, Classic Radio GBN TV. The number 435-2041. If you, of course, have a question or two as relates to our conversation this morning, we're talking electronic crimes, and as relates, we spoke a whole lot this morning about different electronic crime stabs that you may have had your personal, interest in, or when I say interest in, or you've been attacked personally by bad electronic crime, and you probably want to talk about it this morning. Feel free. You get some advice from the officer this morning in studio, feel free to do so. I'm seeing a question from someone here via the Facebook page, and they're saying, another thing that persons need to keep in mind is that if you didn't enter a draw, a raffle, you can be a winner. So don't fall for messages that congratulate you as well. I guess we were discussing that off air a while ago. It relates to that also, where people send you, tell you, oh, congratulations, you're a winner, but you need to send some money in order to get your money.
That'll be like one of the oldest tricks in the book.
Well, folks there are folks who do fall for it still, though. Still do fall for it.
Because when you analyze it, I didn't take part in a raffle.
Yes.
No, all of a sudden, I'm a winner.
Yeah.
Now, why do I have to send monies in order to claim a prize that I never even entered a promotion for?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make no sense.
It doesn't make no sense. So why? And then why? If I'm a winner, why do I have to pay for my winnings?
Exactly.
Here's another question from someone via the WhatsApp. They say, what if someone keep harassing you on Snapchat and posting your pictures on Instagram and saying false stuff about you, such like whatever man you are, and so on? Can that be done? What is it saying? What can be done? Because I may be about 3 reports already and nothing has been done. She said the individual said someone is putting their picture and so forth on different media, and she said they made 3 reports as related and nothing can be done about it. Or him or her saying that.
Okay, so I guess that situation. Well, if the individual is saying that they made reports on it.
Yes.
Now, there might be some technicalities around this. That okay, one is, if you have an idea
of who
is doing it, because whilst yes, he might be out there, the first thing is trying to pinpoint who might be that person or that perpetrator. Because if we don't have like that to work with, it's difficult to just go out there and say, okay, well,
no, the individual is now saying they do have an idea who is doing it.
Okay. And if that's the case, then what you'll have to do is visit your nearest police station or the criminal investigation department, and since you made previous reports, request to speak to an investigator there and furnish them with the information of who you believe might be that person that might be involved in putting your content of you out there. And we just say that could be a start in getting investigation launched and on the way. Okay.
Another question has been asked via WhatsApp. Someone is saying, can I get an invasion of privacy protection for someone for something done publicly? Isn't that a contradiction or something they're asking? They say, no, can I get an invasion of privacy protection for something done publicly? All right, and they say isn't that so you're trying to say isn't that a contradiction?
I see.
I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah,
if something is done in the public domain, how could you get? How could you?
If you can get a violation of privacy protection.
Yeah.
That's I haven't heard of getting a protection order. So in relation to that, because it's an offense.
Yeah.
Right, and if you say it has been done publicly, no. Okay, what you have to look at what
was done publicly.
What was done publicly, and then, as I say, that prosecution department can come into play and determine whether there's an offense here and what can be done.
Okay, we do have a caller online. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning to you.
Relative to the people getting caught with that bad actors advertisement that you win $1 million and send this and so on, I think people get caught with that because they are just too gullible. But more than anything else I want to talk about is the issue of the charges that could be brought against people who violate the privacy of others. And I'm dealing more with the issue of children. And there's a problem too with me nowadays where I'm seeing that children could be described as any age past 12, because you see advertisements that say that children under 12 would have to pay this and that, and everybody, people over 12 would have to pay adult price. Children is under 18 as far as I understand it. But here's the issue I'm talking about here particularly, is if parents could be charged for the children mischief who goes on the device and violate people's privacy and so on. Because the children do that mischievous thing nowadays. But can the parents themselves be held responsible? Because you give children device, and if you don't care what they do with it, you are responsible for their actions. Take care, gentlemen.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Any response to the call?
Yeah, that's a good point that he brought today, that can the parents be held accountable? No. If, as I say, a parent gives a child a device, now the parent may not be aware of what the child is doing on that device.
Yes.
Now, okay, violation of privacy. Let's say the child, and then you'd want to say, okay, let's say a child based on the law is 16 years a child is under 16.
Yes.
Right? 16 and under. Now, if for some reason, say, you have like a 16-year-old or 15-year-old or say 14-year-old, and they would have, let's say, exchange certain content, and let's say the parent got their hand on that device, and they decide, okay, that they're putting it out there.
Yes.
Well, yeah, the parent will have to be held responsible. Okay. But if it's a case where the two, like say, schoolmates, they would have exchanged certain content, and yes, just the same. Let's say they would have fleeing another child or so in the act of, so then what you would have there, and they share it between one another, it's still violation of privacy.
Yes.
So that child will have to be held responsible. But if the parent gets access to the device and they decide, as the parent, they decide they're going to share that content, then the parent would have to be held responsible.
Right. But I think I understand where the caller is coming from. He's saying if a youngster is getting himself involved in terms of sharing information, and yes, he's on that age, would the parents have to share the blunt of the responsibility? I think that's where the caller, I think that's
with the parents, right?
If the parents have to share the blunt of responsibility for the son or daughter who's on that age, as you would say, or still a child, maybe cannot go to jail or maybe to some institution because of that, if the parent will be the one have to share the blunt of that responsibility. I think that's where the direction.
And I think that's a technical one. That's one that maybe I would have to take to the prosecution department and hear what their take on it is, because that's an excellent one. That's if the parent, based on the activity of the child, will have to be held responsible. And like, for instance, look at that case in the U.S. with where that child went into a school and with an assault rifle and kill and shoot up the school. And the parents were charged because they knew about the weapon. Yeah. They knew that the child also had a mental issue. Yeah. So in that child, that because the parents knew, they were implicated as well. Now, in the case of violation of privacy, that one is a very interesting one, and hopefully, as I say, I'll have to discuss that with the prosecution department, and maybe we can get a response back to you on the next program.
So true. Someone is asking a question here, and I think we sort of answered it a little back when we were in the discussion. And someone is saying, Carnival is a time where masqueraders dress with less or nothing, almost exposing their body because it's Carnival. People think they can do anything for 2 days. The question is, if one videotapes someone at an event and post the video of the person in the erratic behavior of the 2 days, what law have they broken? I think we sort of talked about that a little bit earlier. We did speak about that.
Right. So even say in terms of what law have they broken, now, as I say, the whole atmosphere with Carnival, the dress code and so on, and as I say, that erratic manner, now you recorded that person without their consent. And if they post it out there and it's revealed that who the perpetrator is, then yes, it would constitute violation.
But it leads to the person who feels violated having to make a report.
Yeah, but you would have to make a report. Yes.
We would take our final caller and then we wrap today's program. Caller, I'm going to ask you to be very brief because we're going to have to wrap after your contribution. Let's hear from you. Caller, good morning.
GT, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Question for you, for the officer, all right? Okay, I work with a movie director, all right, also too, and then we go to the Eastern Parkway on Labor Day, and then we shoot videos, all right? And then, most time people see the cameras, they behave very erratic, and like the kind of carnival they have in the United States, people almost doing nothing. Sometimes, some of them, you could see whatever, all right? And then we usually post it on our website. And if we come to Grenada and we do the same thing, would we violate anything? Quick question. That's my quick question.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's a very good question as well. Yes, while around that particular events, it's known that the dress code is something what's very troubling when you see how, especially the ladies, how they dress. Now, yes, while you work for a production company and you film this stuff, now it's what the material. I believe that in that case, since you are working for a company, a production company, and the material that you're generating, I guess it's put on your website or Facebook page or whatever the case may be, then that's a ticklish one there. Now, given the fact that...
I guess the company would have to bear the blunt of responsibility there, if whoever they film feels violated.
Well, yes, and that's where the technicality comes into place, because is it being used in a malicious way or not?
Yes.
And if you are working for a production company and that's what you do, like go around and record these events and put it out there for publicity, and so you have to look at if there's any criminal aspect there as to whether it's been used in a malicious way or not, which I believe that's not the intent.
Okay.
So And that again is another issue that we could have discussed again with the prosecution department and hear what their take on it is and get back to you with that on another program.
All right. Detective, this is where we have to take a wrap for today's program. It's a conversation we can have all morning because the phones are still going, and so it's a conversation you can have because folks do have a lot of concern as it relates to that. I want to thank you once again for being on the program this morning, sharing this information so that folks who heard the information will adhere to it and make the necessary adjustments in terms of what they do. Thank you once again.
You're welcome, sir.
All right. Hey, folks, that's where we take a wrap for this edition of To The Point. Have yourself a good one. That's where we say goodbye.